Hello, Heather Broadbent here, violinist and instructor at Online Violin Education, where I train violinists all over the world how to improve their technical skill sets for more melodic playing. Today I'm going to talk about how to stay motivated in your violin journey. Now, I have this wonderful blog post to help us along. It's called 10 Tips for Practice Motivation. And there's so many different ways to stay motivated in the violin journey, and especially because we're all at different levels, that different ways will resonate with you than others. So I wanted to just kind of put some out there, see what works for you to have you implement, and you can come on over to the Online Violin Education Facebook study group. Do make sure you do answer the questions though, because I won't let you in if you don't answer the questions. And so come on over to the Facebook study group and say, okay, this is what I do to stay motivated, or I use this tip, or I use this tip, so we can all help each other, okay? So first off, we have 10 tips for practice motivation. You can find this at onlineviolinaeducation.com in the blog posts, okay? So first off, it's really good to really put yourself in the fire, play with others. Find an orchestra that's perfect for your level and to rehearse with them and have concerts with them. If you don't have an orchestra in your area, there's a lot of other ways you could still play with others. You can find a friend that plays an instrument, play duets, play chamber music. Find other people that are about at the same level as you and play with others. So it's really, really important to have that as a motivating factor, because when you play with others, you want to show up at your best. And it's just like exercising. If you exercise at the gym or if you exercise at home, sometimes you're a little bit more competitive if you're with other people and you're at the gym, doing a class at the gym. So playing with others is really, really good. Set goals. So really important to set goals. I have some excellent blog posts to help you along with that at onlineviolinaeducation.com. And especially goals are really great to reverse engineer. Set a deadline for the goal and then work backwards. So you can make sure that every single day you are working towards that goal. Sometimes the violin journey can be rather overwhelming and you may just not even know where to start or what to do. And it's good to do something. And you can start off with a practice calendar that we have at Online Violin Education. Every month I put out a practice calendar that can be very helpful for you. It just starts somewhere, and then from starting somewhere you'll be able to know, okay, this resonates with me, this doesn't, that type of thing, okay? So really good to start somewhere and to set those goals. Set specific technique or exercise goals. Decide how many scales you want to practice, how much time devoted to specific exercises. And one thing I would say is it's really, really good to be organized. And I have a video about how to use Trello, a website on how to use Trello for organization in your practice sessions. I used to use a practice journal, and you can find my video on my YouTube channel about how I used a practice journal, and I've used a practice journal for many, many years. I started using one at the university. And now I've moved on to actually using Trello, so you can see exactly how I organize my sessions. So you can find that, and then that way you know the next day I'm going to do this, this, and this. So you always know, and you always have a path, because sometimes you don't have that path, super overwhelming, and nothing gets done. So organization is very key. And we talked about putting the goals with a deadline. Put it in a calendar with your deadline and work your way back, reverse engineer it. Enroll in a masterclass or immersion program. And I have many masterclasses in a specific technique. Say you want to focus in on vibrato and how to learn vibrato and how to organize that in your practice sessions and what kind of different vibratos there are, that type of thing. I have a masterclass specifically on vibrato. So while you are practicing, you can think, this technique I want to focus in like a laser, and then head on over to onlineviolinaeducation.com and you'll see different masterclasses, probably with the techniques that you are wishing to improve upon. I also have 8-week immersion programs, and these immersions are completely intensive. So say you want to learn 7 positions on the violin and you just are to your wit's end, you're playing all these positions in your orchestra rehearsals, but you really don't know them and you want to feel like you're completely immersed in it, like going to another culture in another country and just put yourself there. That's what these immersion programs are like. So you can really focus in on those techniques. So check that out. Join an online study group. Head on over, like I mentioned, head on over to Online Violin Education and Facebook at my personal study group I have for everybody. I have two different ones. I have Online Violin Education, which is a general group for people that are enrolled in my courses and people that are not enrolled in my courses. And then I have one specifically, a private one, for people that are enrolled in the master classes and immersion programs. So it's a bit more private because there's not so many people. Right now, the general study group is almost up to 700 people, so it's getting pretty big. Then keep a journal is really important, and I would suggest checking out the Trello video because you may actually really like having that digital, and then when you travel around all over the world that you have everything in one place and not have to worry about always taking that journal with you, or if you forget your journal. One time I forgot my journal in a hotel room and I was freaking out. So it's really nice to have it online. So check out the Trello, you may enjoy that. Take weekly lessons. You know, if you are able to, if you can afford it, find a teacher that you like to work with and take weekly lessons. Take it with somebody that's really going to give you what you're looking for in a violin journey. If you're just looking to play, you know, some pop pieces once in a while, you know, then you find somebody that resonates with that. If you're looking for actual specific technique work and you want to improve and you're really inspired by Oistrakh and high fits and you really just want to go in that direction, then really find a teacher that can truly work with you on technique. Okay, record yourself. I can't say this enough. Even today in my practice session, I'm preparing to record a CD and some different digital MP3s to put out there. And that's what I'm doing is I video record myself. I take notes actually in Trello of what needs to be improved upon. And then I apply that and I implement, and then I record myself again. So recording is so important. I know back in the day, I would not want to listen to myself at all. Even my university recitals, I didn't listen to them. They were recorded and I had back in the day it was cassette tapes. I had the cassette tape and I didn't even listen to it. And it's really sad because I didn't do this because of how I felt inside, because I felt like I was never good enough. And I couldn't hear myself on a recording because I would just feel so horrible. But the thing is, this is just playing the victim, because obviously there's people in that audience that were listening to me and they thought it was good enough and they enjoyed it. So why I was putting myself down for something that was really beautiful. It was really something I had to overcome in my violin journey, and maybe this resonates with you. Maybe you really don't want to record yourself because you find that it might hurt too much, but the best thing is to actually get over that, and then when you do listen to yourself, you're going to be probably amazed at how good you sound. And whatever doesn't sound great, you can improve upon it. You have the skills to improve upon it. You can make it better. Everything is figure outable. Okay, so if there's a specific thing that you're struggling with, you're going to be able to hear it in the recording and you can say, you know what, I really need to work on my shifting. Where can I find some education on shifting? And there is a seamless shifting immersion program at Online Violin Education. So find these opportunities, I call them, to improve your playing, and recording is really helpful to do that. Okay, you know what, if you are not able to afford weekly lessons, in-person lessons, or even online Skype lessons, if you find that that's a little bit too expensive, you may benefit from a video exchange. And what is a video exchange? A video exchange is when you record yourself, you make a video and you send it to somebody, they make an analysis of it and make a video back for you to have personal instruction. It's quite a bit cheaper than online lessons, and there's quite a few people out there that do video exchanges. I have opened up a video exchange at Online Violin Education. So if you are interested in a video exchange with me, I'll leave the link here and you can check out the page. And it will only be open for a certain amount of time, and I only open up my personal video exchange once a year, so for enrollment. So if that's something you're interested in, you may want to check that out. I'll put a link below. Another motivating factor for the violin is to actually just allow yourself to create. Just pick up the violin and think, I'm just going to play. Let the emotions come out. Playing the violin is a very, very healing process. It can be a frustrating process, but it can also be extremely healing. The vibrations that are coming from the instrument is actually resonating through you. So I can't tell you how many times, even since I was even in high school, it'd be really gray and rainy, and I'm quite affected actually by the weather if it's not sunny outside or if it's gray and rainy. And this is something I've learned about myself over the years. And I would always pick up my violin and play Bach. And in high school, I was working on the Bach sonatas and partitas during the springtime, and I would be driving up to Milwaukee for my lessons. And I remember that, and I correspond Bach with gray rainy days, and it helps me feel better whenever I'm in a bad mood, or whenever I'm down, or maybe I'm even angry. Whenever I play Bach, it seems to just dissipate completely. So use music, use the violin to help you work through those emotions that you may have inside of you. Create music. It'll truly help, I promise. So creating music can be quite motivating, and also because who's going to be sitting there telling you you've done anything wrong, okay? That's what's so gorgeous about it. Just create your own music. It's your creation. Nobody can say it's wrong or right or judge it. I mean, they could judge it, but just don't listen to them. But just be in your room, your studio, and just create music. Create it from the heart and let it come out. Those are my motivation tips. I would love to hear from you. Head on over to onlineviolineducation.com with the blog post 10 motivational tips. I'll leave a link below, and let me know which one resonated the most with you and which one you would like to implement. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you really like the video, please share it with your violinist friends who may need some motivational help. Happy magical practices. Ciao.